Metal Hammer presents brought to you by the Smoky Amp. Built by Zingy Amplifiers. Welcome to another stunning episode of Eric Braverman's The Greatest Music Ever Created and How It Ruined Our Lives. With special guest vocalists Corey Taylor of Stone Sour and Slipknot fame. And friend of the show, Five Finger Death Punch's own Ivan Moody.
Hi, I'm Eric Braverman. My friends call me EB. You should probably call me Seshla, the Wind Strangler. I guess you can call me a storyteller, and the story I want to tell today is about how you can balance the mind and spirit through martial arts. No, that's not true. I'm gonna go do that, but I really want to go meet Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour, and our old friend Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch. And I'm gonna go and see if I can learn what a Five Finger Death Punch is. Hey, how hi? Hey, just friendly folks here. Just looking for your boss, probably master so and such guy. Supposed to know something about teaching me the Five Finger Death Punch.
Ivan Moody.
So here we are at the Mayhem Festival, which anywhere this guy is kind of a mayhem festival. I'm sure just at home when he's having a bowl of cereal, it's a mayhem festival.
Fruity Pebbles.
Because one thing I've noticed about in your music, and I think there's something, I don't know if we're going to talk about it, because the whole family's here today, which makes it special for me, is there's emotional trauma. There's emotional trauma.
There is.
That's what I get from your music. I hear even the music you did before Five Finger. Respond to that, just emotional trauma.
Well, obviously you didn't hear the song I wrote about butterflies. That's pretty cool.
The butterfly song.
Yeah, this was nice.
What CD's that on?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, come on, getting on YouTube tonight. Ivan Moody's Butterfly song.
I consider myself to be a deep individual. I mean, you live in a world like this, if your eyes aren't open, you're blank to it. So, I mean, I just take things in. I'm a sponge, and I'm gifted to be able to, relay that to people the way I do. I've never really had an easy life, so to speak. And I know everybody says that, but I mean, for some odd reason, if there's a random cow that fell out of the sky, it would land on my head. So, I just seem to have that kind of luck.
What was the biggest cow ever to fall on your head to cause emotional trauma?
I mean,
you don't have to go too deep into it.
There's just stuff that happens all the time. I mean, like I was just home on this last time off, and the day of my daughter's birthday party, we went over to a friend's house afterward, and one of my boys, his dad, decided to put a gun in his mouth and take his life, and that was like the end of a brilliant day. So it's just like, it just seems like sometimes that, I don't know, it's just always there in my face. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
what kind of guiding life philosophy have you got out of that? I mean, there's people are Buddhists, some people are gun collectors, some people are get into smack, some people are Mormons. What's your life compass that gets you through all that?
Try to be open, just about with everything. I definitely am a believer in karma. I believe the universe works in really unique and mysterious ways. For myself, I try to stay as far away from religion as I possibly can. I just think that, if there is such a thing as one individual God, if there is such a thing, that we were all given the gift of choice, with reason.
I don't see the big dynamic bands anymore I did in my youth that are pretty much these bands right here.
Those
That where someone can actually sing, someone can play the drums, someone knows how to write a song. And I think the reason you had a bit of more success than other bands that have been put together in the last few years is because you encompass a little bit of all these.
Thank you. Right.
Do you think that is kind of accurate?
Well, I don't really have a Sharon, so I don't know what Ozzy and I have in common, but no, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Maiden, like I was just telling you before this. I get to meet Bruce finally, coolest guy in the world. I've always respected the musicianship of each one of these bands. Like AC/DC is, you know, they'll play a song with 4 chords in it and own it. You know what I mean? Judas Priest, of course, you know, Halford, one of the best singers of all time. Maiden, when it comes to everything they do, I mean, you can start at theatrics and work your way up to musicianship. Metallica, of course. I mean, you know.
Is there a band for you missing from this list? Are you looking at this like going, hey, what about?
There's a couple of them. Faith No More.
Faith No More?
Suicidal Tendencies.
But isn't Faith No More like in the crazy kooky band category?
No,
are they a metal?
No, not at all. It's like Suicidal Tendencies should be on there.
Suicidal Tendencies.
There's one.
How offended are anybody of this list right now watching the show? Not that they do. Suicidal Tendencies!
Yeah, Mike Murr's going, yeah! Diet Coke!
Because when I listen to metal...
Pantera? There's no Pantera there.
Yeah, but see, they're not. They don't exist though anymore. These are that exist in the world.
They'll always exist.
Okay, I guess that's true.
I mean, I'm a huge supporter of the Korn camp, so I would say Korn should be on there, especially with all the crap they've.
What the heck is Korn? What kind of music? I've even gone on tour with Korn, and like, what kind of music is that? Like, if it wasn't heavy metal, they're always with.
I don't think you can pigeonhole them for anything. I mean, they kind of took what Suicidal and Faith No More did with the whole hip hop metal thing and kind of evolved it into their own thing. I don't really think you can put them in any.
What's a band that you think does not deserve the accolades that they have? You hear about them all the time.
Even God hates Creed.
Creed. Yeah. See, that was too easy. Yeah, hi, just here to learn just the 5-finger death punch. Just gotta learn the 5-finger death punch.
To learn this technique you seek, you must go through years of training. What style do you train in?
Style do I have?
Do you know any Kung Fu?
Just here to learn just the 5-finger death punch. Not all the other stuff, all the forms and the posing like a flamingo and all that. Just want the 5-finger death punch. In case I run into Lincoln Park in a grocery.
First of all, before you fight the master, you must fight the student.
What, student?
Sinjin.
Student?
Before you challenge me, you must challenge my lowliest student, Sujin.
Okay. Well,
you will train with him for now.
Moody.
Why is the greatest music not on Jay Leno? Why is it not in the Rose Bowl parade? Why are they not at the Super Bowl performance? What?
Fear.
Is it fear?
Same reason Jethro Tull would win an award for the best metal record over Metallica.
Well, isn't that just because all the old people were voting for the Grammys and they just didn't know?
Politics, man. I mean, I think it's stupid. I'd love to see the Super Bowl breakdown as Metallica. You know, I mean, that'd be, or Maiden for that matter. I mean, imagine what that'd be compared to what Janet Jackson showing a nipple. Ooh, like that's, you know, that's just extreme.
Do you enjoy creating that fear? Because you are intimidating. Because your voice when you're singing, the way you are on stage, your look itself. You've got a skeletal hand. You have a skeletal hand. You're wearing flip flops. These things put fear into people. And you said you live for it. So is that the thing that drives you to go? I just
think this day and age, so much has been done that it takes more than just a slap in the face to get people to wise up to what you're doing or to accept it. I think it's more like a hit in the head with a sledgehammer. And I've never been afraid to do it. I mean, those are the kind of bands that impacted me, and they affected me, you know, growing up. And it's not necessarily like roughneck bands either. Like, I love musicians. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, you got Pink Floyd. You know, I mean, I've listened to everything. Johnny Cash. You know, I said earlier, but Jethro Tull, Fleetwood Mac, and Moody Blues.
Now, you have to do this. Like, you have I don't know if it's a problem But you kind of have a problem. I've known, me and you have been a little bit of acquaintances for years now, and I've seen you work under harsh circumstances to get where you are now. You have to do this? Why didn't you ever stop? You know, you could have put all that effort into becoming a dentist.
I don't think I could have lived with myself. I had it taken away from me a couple times, and I didn't think it was fair because I worked so hard to get it, and then I turned around and it was somebody else took it from me. And to me, that's I could not go to bed at night ever again and be proud of myself without at least giving it one more go. If Death Punch wouldn't have done what I thought it was going to do, I would have never taken the risk. I mean, I really wouldn't have. My prior band, you know, Motivator, when they broke up, I had a lawyer approach me and say, you know, you can sue this guy and this guy and this guy, but no, now that you will never work in the music industry again. And I was like, you know what, just write it off, don't even worry about it, and give me a second chance to get out there. And it's a big sacrifice. I mean, I get to see my daughter about 4 months cumulative out of an entire year. You know, I mean, we get a week off here, 4 days there, and it's just go, go, go.
And she's a well-behaved child somehow. If my dad was gone 8 months of the year, the house would be burned down. If you could kill someone and get away with it, who would it be?
Ooh.
We can just go out and kill someone.
If I could kill anybody.
Yeah, and you can get away with it.
Now, this is the thing. Do I get to keep what they own?
So this would be...
There'd be like one of those things like keep what you kill.
I think there's so many people I hate I could just kill and enjoy watching their body become a pizza. I don't care. I would let their mansion sit there. But so who... It could be whatever. If you need to have someone's
Let's just say some of the guys in my old band. I would definitely like to take a shovel and assist them in the hole that they're going to live.
That's real. Your album, War is the Answer.
It is.
Is that a good message for the kids? You know, because there's young people.
You're
one of these bands. You're one of these bands that young people actually like. The bands I listen to. Hi, everybody. Dudes in this band, 62 years old, 60. Acts like they're 60, 50, Tom Ray 50, and Ozzy is no one's sure.
Yeah.
So, but you have a lot of young folks actually, and you're played on the radio and in the towns that have rock radio stations. You know, War is the Answer. How I know you're writing aggressive music, but how about people just looking at that off the side and seeing that? Like, they don't even know your band. There's Five Finger Death Punch. War is the Answer. What a bunch of dicks. You know, or what do you? How do you...
It's not like we named our band like Infant Death Orgasm or anything. It's not that bad. I mean,
where's my pen?
Really good. Yeah, that's my side project. No, but people take it for what it is.
Did you come up with that?
I actually did. That was my idea.
Because War is the Answer because it gets rid of people we don't like, or it cleans environments.
It's been embedded in us since the beginning of time. Red ants, black ants. I mean, the whole... seriously, it's just... Since the dawn of time, man has always lived for that kind of...
If you're going to go all the way down to the black ant, red ants fighting, you could just go all the way to, you know, nothing matters, we're on a rock, going through space, going 30,000 miles an hour.
That'd be too easy.
And you're a musical genius.
Well, I do my best.
What the hell happened in Iowa that caused all the emotional trauma? That through your whole career of music, I mean, it looks like a lot of emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Whether it be Slipknot or the Stone Sour now.
You know, it's just a brutal growing up, you know. I mean, and I was so kind of, until like just recently, but when I was growing up, Iowa was so kind of isolated, you know. I mean, it was just, you know, there wasn't anything cool. There wasn't anything great about it. And, you know, you grow up in that kind of white trash mentality, you're going to deal with a lot of crazy shit, you know. So I grew up with abuse. I grew up with, you know, moving around a lot. I grew up, you know, I didn't know my dad until I was 30, you know. So, I mean, I grew up with a lot of strikes against me, being poor. It just wasn't the best. I wasn't by far the worst, but it wasn't great, you know. So when I first started kind of learning how to play music, that's how I invented, I mean, that's how I got it out. And luckily I did. I mean, I could have gone a whole different way with things.
But what about now with Stone Sour? There's still, the songs mainly seem to be about emotional trauma. Are you still getting that out?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's nothing to do with back then. Let's put it that way. I mean, I've got that all out of my system. Now it's like more recent crap, I mean, it's like the last 5 years have been a roller coaster for me, I ended my first marriage, kind of went through a weird 2 to 3 year craziness, kind of dated a couple people, didn't really work. Then I met my new wife. So I mean, I've gone from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, and but it's great, I mean, it's really good. I'm in a really good point in my life, and it just feels good to know that I'm happy for the first time in a long time.
Do you feel better without the mask?
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't?
No,
but I mean,
it doesn't.
Can't you disconnect easier? Can't you disconnect easier?
Well, not really. I mean, it is what it is, I mean, everybody puts so much focus on the masks, and people have to realize that without that person behind them, it's just a fucking mask.
Yes, but obviously it did a big impact. Like, did your mask mean anything, or was it just supposed to look nasty?
No, it was just a visualization of what I wanted to do, and that was it. I mean, it wasn't supposed to represent anything inherently spiritual. It was just my way of kind of turning that mirror back on everyone else.
Well, you said the spiritual thing. When I go to a Slipknot show, and I thought this in my mind the first time when you played the Celebrity Theater here in this town, that In the Round
I remember.
I thought someone was going to get hurt. But that I looked at it like the greatest heavy metal puppet show in the world. Like a Godzilla movie. It's like, it's great, but it's these crazy puppets or things climbing around.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was always that element of danger, though. I mean, there always has been. I mean, even up until the All Hope Is Gone tour. I mean, there was just that element of, you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Well, what's the worst injury you ever received performing? Worst injury?
Oh, Christ, I've had several. I almost detached my retina. I've had lacerations on my corneas. I've had to play whole shows with eye patches underneath the mask. My legs have been set on fire. I broke my toe. I mean, it's just, I mean,
did it ever stop a show, or did you ever?
No, I just kept going. I mean, the only thing I've ever had to cancel a show for is my voice. Let's put it that way.
Oh, so you get pretty crazy with it.
A little bit.
Why Stone Sour? Like, you went back to that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just go and start a whole other thing again?
Because it was really,
matter?
It was really feeling limited in Slipknot. It really was. And I'm the kind of guy, I mean, the whole reason that I joined Slipknot in the first place was the reason that I kind of ended up going back to Stone Sour, ironically, is because I wanted to do something different. I wanted to expand musically. And by Iowa, it was getting very, very, very just straight gnarly. There was no,
straight gnarly.
I mean, it really was. Yeah. I mean, not only musically.
As Slipknot fans, we demanded that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got to understand, we only give you what we feel like giving you.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the way we've always been. And I had to be able to make different kinds of music, and I wasn't getting to do it with Slipknot.
But you went back to Stone Sour. You didn't start another thing. You didn't start like the Copper Biscuits.
I went with what I knew.
Okay.
I went with what I knew. I mean, Stone Sour was the first band I'd ever really started. I mean, it was the first real band that I was ever in. So to go back to that just made the most sense.
Is it named after a cocktail?
Yes, it is.
So that's another thing, our show, The Greatest Music Ever Created and How It Ruined Our Lives, is always, you could have named it after a kind of a cake.
Yeah.
But you named it after a cocktail.
Yeah.
Did that play into it just ever? Like, hey, it's named after alcohol?
No, not really. I mean, we just thought it was a cool name. We saw it on a drink menu at a bar, and we were just like, oh, it's kind of fucking cool. And it just stuck. It was a really cool kind of dichotomy too. There was this like almost unconscious dichotomy between Stone and Sour. You almost got like two ends of the spectrum. And for us, it was just like, it just kind of metaphorically just made sense.
Before you challenge me, you must challenge my lowliest student, Sanjay. Choose a weapon. Choose wisely.
How about this nice little stick? I gotta put on a little something more comfortable, kind of my battle warrior comfort gear. Excuse me.
What's the meaning of this? Are you auditioning for Slipknot? I can see we need more training. Your skills with the weapons is weak. We must see how you do with hand-to-hand combat. Immense battle.
So what drove you that? If you had to learn all yourself, you had to get through all this emotional trauma, what drove you? Wanting money, wanting fame, wanting self-reliance? Like, what drove you through all that?
Kind of everything, you know. I mean, I've always had a serious want and need to get ahead, you know. I mean, that was one of the things that always made me feel different than other kids. I just knew that I wanted something bigger for my life than spending the rest of my life in a trailer court. You know, I mean, I just knew, and I knew I had it in me to do it. So, I mean, it was just, you know, I mean, it all comes down to just knowing what you can do and having the courage to go for it. You know, I mean, you've got to have the drive, you've got to have the talent, you've got to have a little bit of luck, actually a lot of luck. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself enough, and you don't believe in your talents enough, then you're not going to go anywhere, you know. And luckily, I was self-reliant enough to know that I had a natural talent. But at the same time, you know, I'd been playing gigs since I was 18, well, 17, you know. So I really was able to cut my teeth and learn, you know, and instead of these kids who get on MySpace and all of a sudden they got this, you know, popular band, I was, at their age, in the gigs, playing, you know, learning how to work a crowd, learning how to work an audience. I mean, just doing all these things that, you know, it's kind of on-the-job training, you know. Mm-hmm. So by the time that I got signed with Slipknot, not only did I have all that experience, I also had everything to back it up, you know. And, you know, one thing led to another, and the rest is history.
Hey, Master, I guess I'll take off. I don't think you like the whole, you know, 5-finger death punch training or my Slipknot outfit, and I'm...
Good luck with those Linkin Park fans. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to give you something.
Whew. And so, what have we learned? We've learned that Corey Taylor's still a cool guy despite all he's gone through, and I'm sure they'll be doing a Slipknot album sooner than later. And Ivan Moody, just as moody as ever, and maybe they'll do another Bad Company song for you people soon. So I guess I'm supposed to be on my way to North Korea to talk to the son of Kim Jong-il, something like that, who's some Michael Jordan fan, and we'll see you there if I make it.
This has been another meaningful episode. We would like to thank our guests Corey Taylor from Slipknot and his new band Stone Sour, and our old pal Ivan Moody from 5-Finger Death Punch. This has been your announcer Russ Walton of Jack of All Pipes. Now go practice breaking boards with your head.
We're on Metallica. You know any Metallica? What's your name?
Murder.
Murder! His name is Murder! Who cares if he knows any Metallica songs? His name is Murder! Wait, does that mean you're the most metal person?
I'd like a cold glass of blood on the rocks, please.
You're the most metal person I've ever met on the street. You gotta know one Judas Priest song. Breaking the Law?
When I catch Judas Priest, I will murder them in their sleep.